Vocal warm-ups, everyone. Me, me, ma, mo, moo.
Damn.
All right, all together now.
Me, me, ma, mo, moo. The teeth and the tongue, the tooth and the lips.
Oh.
Teeth in the tongue, the tooth in the lips.
What's up, everyone? Welcome back to the NGMI podcast with Scott, Sire, Kevin Lyons, and Jack Dytrych.
Woo!
Yeah.
All blood brothers with last names that are different. On the last episode, we introduced our newest blood brother, Brett Robinson. He came on to talk about Tana Mojo and their relationship together, as well as his experiences on Big Brother.
Yeah.
The relationship is spicy. We had to get him on early in the relationship just in case they broke up, because that could happen at any moment.
Have they
know what's
broken
gonna
up? Are they
happen.
still together?
Are they together at all? Who knows? You have to check the last episode to find out. If you haven't listened to the last episode, it's a spicy one. People seem to really like it. Audio listeners, thank you so much for leaving reviews. We really appreciate it. It helps us out a lot. And let's just get right into the Not Gonna Make It podcast, shall we?
Talk about the randomness.
I'm gonna.
Okay.
I'm trying to. Now I have this thing in my head where I'm like, when is he gonna put the intro in? Because you put an intro in after like a certain point.
I was going to do it after the warm-ups, I think. I already got it in my mind.
Wonderful.
Oh.
Yeah.
See, he's got that producer mind.
This
For
guy's
me,
good.
I was like, did we get an intro yet? I
Oh,
don't
we
know.
got it, baby.
I don't fucking know. Shoot. Okay, so guys, our podcast is typically pretty random conversational topics. Just a couple of blood brothers. Just a few blood. That's always so hard to say.
Yeah, it is.
Just
Brub brothers.
Blood brothers. Just a few blood brothers on the podcast talking about random shit, but there is an underlying theme here.
Yeah.
Not Gonna Make It is about people, feeling like they're not going to make it and eventually finding success, right?
Yeah.
I didn't think I was going to be a super celebrity famous YouTuber.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't think I was going to get canceled 4 times in the course of 2 years.
Yeah.
But you know what? I succeeded at both. So what we want to do in the beginning of these episodes, maybe sometimes we'll have guests on to talk about their specific failures to finally finding success in that thing that they're working on. Yeah. But I have a couple stories of people who, they're celebrities. You might have heard these stories before. So did you guys know how Harrison Ford became Han Solo?
No, actually,
No.
I don't.
Okay. Harrison Ford.
They're interchangeable.
Yeah, they're the same guy. Literally. Anyways, Harrison Ford started off like he wanted to be an actor, but he was doing small little fill-in roles. George Lucas hired him as someone to read lines with actors in the Star Wars movie. He was so impressed with Han Solo's performance, just reading lines with people, that he was like, I want this guy to be Han Solo.
Damn.
And so that's how he got his huge breakout role as Han Solo in Star Wars.
So he was like a stand-in?
He was just someone to read lines with. Like, he wasn't even acting in the film.
Did they have someone else casted as Han Solo that he replaced?
That part I don't really know.
That would've
All I
sucked.
know,
Imagine Han Solo's reading his lines to the guy, and then he's like, "Yeah, I'm taking your spot soon."
That guy right now is just like doing nothing every day. He fucking has like a bulletin board of like Harrison Ford he throws darts at.
I'm really sorry for whoever Han Solo was supposed to be, but I'm glad it was Harrison Ford.
It was
Yeah.
Steve Buscemi.
And I think Steve Buscemi, that would have been a weird ass Han Solo. But I think that's a really cool little success story where he was not a major actor at all, and he was actually doing work for like $150 a day as like a line reader or something with people. He would just read lines with the actors, and they were impressed with his performance, and we're like, that's our Han Solo right there.
That's crazy.
So
charismatic, bro.
Dude, Harrison Ford is the man.
Yeah, I met
He's
him.
the man.
You met him?
Yeah, I used to work a lot with the BuzzFeed celeb team where we do the junkets for like movies and stuff. You know?
So you're big shit over
Yeah.
here.
I'm a big Hollywood
A
guy.
big shot.
Yeah.
Nice.
But he did this movie like a year or two ago about like him and a dog, and for the
Oh.
BuzzFeed interview, you
I
saw
love
it?
that movie.
You saw it?
Yeah, it's like a sled dog, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's
yeah.
cold.
They're in, like,
it's
the-
cold in here
yeah.
too. I might need a sled dog to sit on my lap.
But we had him come in to play with like puppies and answer questions. That's like one of the things BuzzFeed does. And he was a really sweet guy, very cranky, but you could tell he's just like old. He's like, what the fuck is this? But like he was still really nice. And then as he was playing with I think it was just one like baby husky. He was looking at his agents. He's like, can I take this dog? Like, can I adopt it? And they're like, yeah, we'll talk about it. You have like 7 dogs already. He's like, I want it. So we might have that dog now. We don't know.
That movie was so good because it felt like a real connection with him and that dog. I was like, it like felt real because he's a fucking great actor.
Also,
and because he loved dogs.
Yeah, I guess he has like 7 dogs.
Damn.
He fucking loves them.
That's a lot of dogs.
Next week we'll have Harrison Ford.
That'd be fucking crazy. With all of his dogs.
Yeah.
You said he was kind of cranky, and I remember reading or seeing an interview of him like where they asked him about how he felt about Han Solo dying in one of the Star Wars movies, and he was like,
He's like, I don't give a fuck.
Like, it wasn't like he didn't give a fuck. It almost sounded like he was bitter that they killed him off. He was like, I fucking can't do Han Solo anymore. Fucking assholes.
Dude, I think they just wrapped filming, but he's doing Indiana Jones still.
Damn.
They were shooting it like last year. They might
That's
still be
sick.
shooting it now. But he's like 78 or some shit.
That's
and
really
he's doing
cool.
Indiana Jones still.
When I was looking up the story of how he became an actor, because I knew there was something that was cool about it. First thing that came up on Google was that he's 79 years old. So him playing Indiana
Jesus.
Jones at 79 that's fucking dope.
You got to be in good
legend.
shape to be doing that shit. Even just acting at that age, like.
Some next success story I have for you guys is Tom Holland, the golden boy of the Hollywood right now.
Met him
you
as
know?
well.
Damn.
Fuck you.
You're a real big shot.
Fuck you meeting all these people. But anyway, he was a young actor. He started in a movie called The Impossible, I believe, when he was like 13. And as a teenager, he did an interview, and someone was like, would you ever want to play a superhero? And he's like, oh, yeah, what superhero would want to play? Yeah, maybe Spider-Man. Like, he was known for his like excitement and like adorable sort of like, that'd be really cool to play Spider-Man.
Yeah.
You know? So he said that when he was like 16. He said maybe in about 10 years' time. Here he is now, 24 or 25, and he is Spider-Man. He's
That's
the new
really
Spider-Man.
cool. Like,
So-
he called it from so long ago.
Yeah.
And not that he was like failing at acting or anything, but he did like, he manifested it and
Worked towards it.
successfully became the next Spider-Man.
Inspiring.
Speaking of Spider-Man, you guys probably saw the news that Andrew Garfield was not handsome enough to play Prince Caspian in Narnia.
Yeah.
Which I think is kind of funny that people are like making a big deal about that right now, because that was what, 10, 15 years
that's
ago.
a long ass time
Yeah.
ago.
And Prince Caspian was casted really well. But, you know, like I said, Andrew Garfield is the thirst trap Spider-Man. He's a handsome guy.
He's fucking devilish.
He's fucking sexy, right? I mean,
It was a sad interview. I read it because he's like, yeah, like it was like my dream role at the time. Like I really wanted it, and then I kept asking my agent why I didn't get it, because it was him and the other dude. He was like the final two, and he just kept asking his agent. His agent like didn't want to say, and finally the agent was like, they didn't think you were handsome enough. He was just crushed. I'm like, fuck, bro.
That
sucks.
it's funny too in the regards of like handsomeness.
Yeah.
That has changed so much over the course of the years of Hollywood. Like if you go through the James Bond movies from the beginning to the end, the type of person that plays James Bond each time is the type of person who is the typical most attractive
At the time.
style of look at the
Yeah.
time. Like it used to be an older man with like a blockier face or something. Like, you know, like
Right.
people
Like Sean Connery.
Yeah, the idea of what is handsome changes over time. Whereas, you know, like
Pete Davidson.
Pete
He would not be making it in the 1960s, bro.
he is now
lit up.
an ultimate sex symbol.
Yeah, fucking. He's a sexy guy.
And it's also like Jacob from Teen Wolf was considered like super handsome at the time that movie came out.
Jacob? Are you in Twilight?
Twilight, yeah.
Yeah.
I said Teen Wolf. Whoops. He was the wolf guy.
Yeah.
But anyway, like there was a whole battle between like Team Edward or Team Jacob. Like who's the hot one, you know? And now I feel like people would go back to that movie and be like, oh yeah, it was definitely Edward that was the hot one. But like he was good looking, and it was there was a certain era of time where that look was more appealing to more people.
Yeah.
I think it's funny how people's opinions of like what is hot and trendy it just changes.
It changes rapidly too. Like it's quick.
It's quick, you know, like one day they could be like, Scott's hot. The next day they're like, well, Kevin is the sex symbol in this podcast room.
I think that's true.
I mean, it is true.
He's the sexiest one.
And that is kind of like a factual thing that won't change.
Yeah.
You know,
It's solidified.
just like the
Only gets better.
comment on the last podcast that fucking Brett added something to this podcast I didn't know I needed. He's like the handsome macho guy. Jack's the funny cool guy. Kevin's kind of like the nerdy kid, which actually is not an insult because that's like a very, very cool.
I mean,
thing.
that's like Spider-Man.
I was gonna say
like Peter Parker's like the nerdy kid.
Yeah, that's actually a compliment now.
The only diss was for Scott.
The diss was for me. He's the sad, weird guy. I'm like, what the?
I was gonna say that when I read that comment, I was like, I don't think I've ever been referred to as like a nerd because I'm not like
right, because you used to be bad in school and shit.
Well, I'm not even like very smart. I just do decent in school. I was like, I'm like, I sound like a nerd. I was like, all right. I mean, I'll take it.
You thought Australia lived in the future on that episode, so like, definitely not like that kind of nerd. But you do love anime boobies.
Bro,
He scribbles
the
them
running
in
joke
his
that never
room.
gets old.
I'm kidding. I love anime boobies. I was talking to my tattoo artist yesterday. I was like, I want to get like a hot anime girl tattoo on my, so I can bring it into the podcast and be like, Kevin, you don't have to be ashamed that you like anime boobies. Check out these bad babies right here. I didn't get it yesterday, but I will in the future get some hot anime boobies.
That would be cool. Then I'd feel more like comfortable here.
But back to the attraction, the attraction and like the attractiveness of certain styles of what people wear, how people look. Like, it's so interesting. It's very subjective. It's opinion based, and it also depends. Like, someone can do a movie and be not the hottest person typically, and then you fall in love with the person's character.
Yeah.
And over like what they look like, which is, that's kind of like a faith in humanity restored sort
like
of
Steve
situation.
Buscemi.
Like Steve Buscemi. He's
just hot.
You really like Steve. You really like Steve Buscemi.
Yeah, baby. Randall from Monsters Inc.
Yeah, but I mean, you can look at someone who's typically not like, well, you're supposed to be like symmetrical to be like beautiful, right? But you can look at someone who's not conventionally attractive and be like, that person's very attractive.
Yeah.
It doesn't fucking really matter what you look like. It's beauty's in the eye of the beholder.
Yeah, sometimes it just has to do with like how they carry themselves and like what's going on,
confidence, humbleness.
Yeah, exactly.
Like,
Also, like the dad bod was like the biggest trend a couple years ago, where people were like, "This is way better than like the shredded six pack guys."
Yeah, this is sick.
I'm so late to that trend. I'm just now getting the dad bod.
Please.
Now, I haven't been able to work out for the past couple weeks because I thought I had a
chiseled
damn hernia, but it's not a hernia. I just have muscle spasms in the same spot all the time, which I'm scared is going to happen at any moment, and I'm going to be on the ground writhing in pain.
Which I said was kind of scarier that he said that there was nothing wrong, because like now you have no idea like why you've had muscle spasms or like what's going on.
Don't say it's scary.
Well, it's not scary. It's cool, Scott.
You can't trigger in his head, bro.
There's nothing wrong.
We talked about how the mind is so powerful, I believe, on the last episode, but it definitely is.
It's huge.
It's a mental thing. I think there might be something gastrointestinal where it's like, if I eat really shitty food or something like that, then
Maybe it's your liver, bro, from that much alcohol.
When I went to the urologist, he said, this is my pancreas over here.
Yeah, I don't think that's the liver.
So maybe it's my
Where's the liver?
pancreas.
I don't fuck.
Where's the liver, dentist
I don't
boy?
know where the liver is.
Does the dentist need to know where a liver is?
Yeah, bro.
What do you know about anything?
They extract from the liver to put it in your teeth for cavities sometimes.
Oh yeah, that's crazy, man. That's a whole ass surgery. Getting in there. Last success story I have for today, and then I think we're gonna do it where it's more like a one person per day sort of thing, unless we have a guest where we specifically want to talk about how they achieved what they've achieved. So Louis C.K. had a stand-up routine where he said that no one's gonna go to a master class for acting and talk to a famous actor, interview him and ask him a question, and then be the next big actor. It's just not going to happen. The world doesn't work that way.
Right.
Cut to Bradley Cooper in a masterclass asking Sean Penn. He's like, hey, I'm Bradley Cooper. I'm a second-year actor. Proceeds to ask him some questions. And then cut another year or two forward. Bradley Cooper is starring in a movie alongside Louis C.K. called The Hustlers.
Damn.
And then, he got to bring up that stand-up comedy thing and like kind of rub it in Louis' face, like, you know what, like, yeah, that's exactly what happened. What you said never happens. Idiot.
That's really cool.
Yeah, that's funny.
Yeah,
Love Bradley Cooper.
Bradley Cooper's great. He's Rocket in Guardians of the Galaxy.
Yeah.
Oh, really?
Best character.
That is one of the best characters. What about Groot though?
Groot?
That's Vin Diesel.
That's Vin Diesel. Also one of the best characters. He
That's
doesn't
just
have too many lines though.
Yeah, but always like brings it back,
Yeah.
Do you think he like goes in for like one day and just does all the different I am Groots and he's like rapped?
Probably.
Yeah, right?
Brought him in like the last day.
I'm so curious what his like pay was compared to like other actors having like so few lines?
Vin Diesel's pay, as per reports, was paid a whopping $54 million, which means it's like $13 million for every movie that Groot was featured in.
And sometimes Groot says, "I am Groot" like 5 times in one movie. Like, it's so crazy, and it probably is like one day of work, unless the movie's like the Groot stuff isn't in yet. But why would they bring him in unless Groot was?
Maybe it takes him a while to get into character.
I am Groot.
Okay, maybe you could do it.
I remember there's a Simpsons actor, a voice actor that, what was it? Is it the Roadrunner or Simpsons that I'm thinking of? Where, meep, meep.
That's Roadrunner.
That's Roadrunner.
They got paid to do the line once and then like
They
never
just cut it in every
again or
time?
something. It was like, it was something like that. It's just like,
That's actually so fucked.
there's another success story going on. It's happening right here in this room.
Where is it?
Kevin is on a journey for physical health.
Oh.
He's been going to the gym and weight isn't really a part of health in general all the time. But if you're working to lose a little bit of weight, then that's a very positive thing. He lost 8 pounds since the beginning of the year.
Nice.
So we want to give a little...
Well, thank you.
Good job, baby.
He's been hitting that gym, doing the what?
Doing what?
What have you been doing at the gym? Doing the what?
Working out.
I don't
You
know.
told me Stairmaster was his favorite thing to do.
Well,
at
I
the
do
gym.
that every day.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah,
so-
Stairmaster's good.
The
Stairmaster.
Stairmaster is really good.
You got that popping little bubble butt now, or what?
Yeah, let's see that tushy.
Oh,
You got that tushy.
we gotta
on
wait
those
for that
cushions.
reveal, dude. But yeah, I mean, just mentally doing better since the start of the year, like with being more confident and happy. Like you said, like the mind is a huge thing,
Mhm.
and that allowed me to like go to the gym without like, because all my friends switched gyms, but I stayed, and I just been going to the gym every day, doing my thing, get up early, stay on my routine,
Yeah.
So it's been like a great start to the year for me. Like
Hell yeah.
2020 has been awesome so far.
Well, that's fucking
2022.
great for you.
Yeah.
2020 new.
2.
No, that's awesome. And I always think that exercise is one of the best things to like, it's a healthy thing. It releases endorphins in your brain that make you happy. Like it's actually literally a proven scientific fact that it releases fucking shit that makes you happy, which is
like when
is
people
awesome.
said like that the gym was like their like outlet, or like they were allowed to like be free or not think. Like I never understood that, because when I go to the gym, I was like, there's so many fucking people, like I can't like be in my own headspace. But since I've been going and like relaxing there, it is like a big outlet. Like when I'm just working out, I'm in my own world and I can think and do my own things. It's like everything, like if I'm like stressed about school or like anxious about something, it all like disappears when I'm in the gym for a couple hours just doing whatever I need.
I felt the same way, like in high school, post high school. Like if I was stressed about stuff and I like went to the gym, it was my hour or two of the day where I was able to like not be texting people back, not be thinking about
Do your own
homework that I
thing.
had to do, and just like, this is my me time. I plug in the
Right.
music and I just like work out. And also after a while you find like the best times to go where there's not as many people, or
I always go in the morning like at 6. I wake up early, just get my shit out of the way, and then do whatever else I need to do the day.
Yeah.
Fuck yeah.
How about you, Jack? You've been rock climbing a lot?
No, don't rock climb.
All my friends actually go to a rock climbing gym.
I was kidding when I said I rock climb. I've been rock climbing.
You-
I work out at I have a park by my apartment that's like a calisthenics park. I work out there.
So you climb rocks at this park?
Nope, no rocks there.
No rocks.
You lied to
It's
us.
like a pull-up bar, dip bar.
There's no rocks whatsoever.
No rocks.
Not even rock hard abs?
Nope,
Oh,
none to be
Whoa.
seen.
Not to be seen. Okay, whatever.
Not yet.
As long as everyone's staying happy, healthy, and working towards a better you every day. That's what I've been trying to tell myself.
Yeah.
I had 4 doctor's appointments since the beginning of 2022
Damn.
and 1 physical therapy appointment. What did you say?
I said, what the fuck?
Yeah, I went through a lot of weird problems.
Yeah.
I think did I talk about? I did. I talked about
it all.
Yeah. I don't want to rehash it, but I did go to a lot of doctors, and the moral of the story is every doctor, I went to a general medicine, talked to a family medicine, another family medicine, and a psychiatrist and a physical therapist. All 5 of these people said that most of my physical issues are stemming from my mental issues. So,
Yeah.
the muscle fatigue, the feeling that I'm going to explode in my stomach, my intestines are going to pop out because I have a hernia. It's all been because of issues that I pushed back, never took care of, never got them looked at, and paired with trying to get off anxiety medicine, which has addictive qualities that you're not supposed to take for a long period of time, but I was prescribed for a long period of time, caused a heightened sense of anxiety, and my body fell apart. And so the psychiatrist yesterday was great. She helped me figure out a way to like wean off of my anxiety medicine, and also she gave me enough supply to where I don't have to feel nervous about not having it, because not having it on hand made me like even more anxious. But
yeah,
it's
you
like
need the reassurance.
The reassurance. It's like, okay, I don't need to take this today, so I'm not going to.
Mm-hmm.
But if I need to, it is there for me. Like that's just good to have on hand.
I saw an interesting comment on our previous YouTube podcast video. What anxiety medication were you on?
Clonazepam.
Someone was like, be very careful with that and make sure you don't drink any alcohol when you're on it.
Yes, and that is a thing. And like,
yeah.
Definitely, I have not been perfect with that, because sometimes I'm just so anxious that I double-edged sword myself. But
you've been trying to get off of it, right?
I literally started the year saying I want to get off this medicine.
Right.
And definitely don't recommend anybody fucking drink with any sort of benzo, which is what clonazepam is. It's a flatter Xanax. It's much less potent, but it is still addictive, and bad withdrawals can happen if you take it for a long period of time. So when I was first prescribed it, I made sure I took it very sparingly. I think I mentioned this, but if I was going out drinking one night, I would not take the pill. And like,
Got it.
If I was drinking when I woke up, I would not take the pill, and I would always take half of the dose that I was prescribed, because I knew it was a drug that I didn't want to be on forever.
Mm-hmm.
But I did not expect the withdrawals that I had when I stopped taking it.
Right.
And some of the withdrawals was definitely because of the fact that I didn't have it just in case. And I couldn't figure out like healthcare. I mentioned this in a tweet. I was like, I hope there's some kids going to school to be therapists and psychiatrists, because there's like a shortage of them.
And doctors and
all
everything that's other than a YouTuber.
Everything other than a TikToker and influencer, there's a shortage of like jobs that actually are very important for our world to continue moving.
Yeah.
And in the past 2 years of the pandemic, 2020, 2021, 2022 now, people have lost their jobs. They haven't been able to function properly. They're falling out of routines.
More people never like need that.
Yeah, more people than ever need someone to talk to about what's going on in their head. So I finally pulled the trigger and found a psychiatrist through a website, and it was a video call. Like every time I looked for a psychiatrist that I would like actually go and see in person, it's like impossible. It takes like 3 weeks to get to it. And I'm like, I need to speak to someone now, So you can Google websites. The one I went to was PCP ASF, I believe. You can fact check that. But if you have insurance, if you don't have insurance, if you need someone to talk to, you should definitely like look into these like video options where you can just have a Zoom call with someone for 45 minutes and talk through like what you're experiencing. Because there's a lot of people experiencing like a very low now 2 years into a pandemic where the world really shut down in the beginning. And sometimes people that have high anxiety thrive in that because they're like, oh, the world's slowing down. I don't have to go into work and whatnot. But then, even people with anxiety that don't like social interaction as much as an outgoing person is going to fall into a slump after 2 years of being this way.
And I feel like a lot of people don't even realize like from where they've fallen from before the pandemic, or just in general mentally. Like once you fall into like that slump, it's hard to like realize like what you're missing and what you're not able to do or not capable of, because you're so far down at that point. Yeah.
Me specifically, I felt like I was thriving in the beginning. I was like, I have a nice home. I have a backyard and a gym, which I'm very fortunate to have. Mm-hmm. And I felt fit. I was not taking any anxiety medicine. I hadn't for years prior either, but like I was just feeling good. I was like, I can live like this for a little bit, Right. And then something just switched, and I was like, I got out of that routine of waking up early, going to bed at a decent time. I think the lack of routine really can affect you. Like it's like you got to have something to look forward to every day.
Right. Good habits instead of like having bad habits that you continue. Like if you have like good habits of waking up and going to the gym and doing things, like it keeps you motivated and doing things that are like better for you than bad habits that you continually do the worst thing for you. You know what I mean?
Yeah, 100%. So like the past couple nights for me, I've not drank, talked to the psychiatrist, got the anxiety medicine, which has like cleared up a lot of my anxiety just to have it on hand. My girlfriend and I, like, also, like, she's gone through used to be super motivated, got unmotivated, going to the gym and stuff like that. And we're just trying to kick ourselves back into some kind of routine where it's like, all right, we have to get up and we have to do this or that. And we have to get this done.
Well, yeah, like definitely, like I'm just starting to become like on like good routines because I was so down for so long, like throughout high school, like just not doing anything. And like, I guess how I'm saying is like I never realized how far down I was and like how much anxiety I had that I couldn't do the things that I wanted to do, like new things or hang out with friends. Mm-hmm. So like coming up to like getting new routines and just starting the new year and like just getting a lot better, it's like opened up. Like the world's like my oyster. I can go do anything that I want to do.
The world
and
is
have
your
fun,
oyster.
you know?
Yeah.
And while having good habits and a good routine instead of like, you know, sitting in my room all day playing games or like not going to do something because I'm like too nervous or too scared to like get out, you know?
Yeah.
I love how positive Kevin's outlook on like a lot of things are.
Yeah, and it like you said, it's like kind of coming to fruition now. Like it's like
Right. It's just starting for me.
you started to change his outlook and started going to the gym. And at first, it was kind of like a stressful thing, but it became a relaxing thing for him.
Right.
Yeah.
Probably like when you first went to the dentist and you were like, "Oh, they're gonna drill holes in my teeth," and then you were like, "You know what? That's kind of fucking nice."
Or when you used to not be able to go to a different gas station.
Yeah. I just started going to different gas stations too. That was pretty nice.
He's
Damn.
changing up.
You went to a different gas station. Oh, this is news. This is news, everybody.
It might not sound cool to anyone else, but it's pretty cool
It's
to
a
me.
pretty fucking big deal.
Just doing like different things, like going anywhere, like just not being anxious about like something. But like it's so stupid, but like going to a different gas station, I'd be like worried, like, oh, maybe my card won't work at this gas station.
Yeah.
Like for no reason, but like just that little anxiety. Always like, I'll just go to the one I always know. You know?
Yeah.
Have you guys thought about the way that online school versus in-person school is going to affect people's mental health and anxieties?
I think it's going to totally
Definitely.
fuck them up.
Yeah.
I think that as well. And I know when I was younger, I would have been like, an online class? Fuck yeah, sign me up. That's so easy. I don't have to like interact with kids in school. Like I can just fucking go online and turn my screen off. And
Yeah.
I think a lot of kids when it first started were like, oh, fuck that. That sounds awful. But then once they got into the pattern of like online school every semester, they're like, oh, it's easy. Like I don't have to go to school. And
I thought it would be vice versa.
Really?
I thought
Well,
at first they'd be like, hell yeah, I don't have to go into school. And then after, they're like, I don't see my friends anymore.
I guess it depends on the age group that you're getting into it at. But like,
Yeah.
I don't know, if you're like, if you have friends in high school and you want to go see them and hang out with them, like you're going to miss it a little bit. But if you have the social anxiety to where like school's kind of a pain in the ass and you have to talk to someone about a project, or like a girl asks you
Right.
if you want to do a project with her and you're like shy and you're like, oh, I'll just do it myself. I did that once.
But think about like first through like 8th grade, like those kids that like
Oh,
have
yeah.
like recess and like play and like all that shit, and then they're just sitting in a room. They probably can't even like focus on
I
their
also
iPad.
when it first started, I was thinking about like how would they get like kindergartners or first graders like to sit in front of a computer?
Yeah.
Like I was like, the parents must have to like watch them. Like they're not gonna do that shit.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I've talked to like my neighbor's a parent, and like it is hard to get like a kid to pay attention in one of those classes. But my main thing wasn't even about like the paying attention to the class, but the lack of social communication skills that you won't develop because you're not going and interacting with people that you're being put in uncomfortable situations. The only way that
Yeah.
you get over being uncomfortable in a situation is to go through that situation until you realize that you will get through it. you
Yeah,
know?
especially in the crucial years like middle school and high school where you're like developing and around like different people. It's gonna be weird when they come back and like no one's like cool with like all their online shit, you know.
Yeah, 100%.
Yeah.
I mean, if it comes back, but people are, office jobs have figured out that people can work from home. They can save money on a whole office and just be like, yeah, we're just going to take calls and do Zoom meetings because it's cheaper.
I think that's
Right.
good.
Yeah.
I think, that's good for like business. And
I think for like working, no, I mean for like the workers being able to work from home.
it is good, but also
Maybe like split.
I think it's good because, the commute, you save money on your commute, because you're working from home. The one thing I'll say about it, though, also is about laziness and lack of routine and whatnot. And the reason that we built this podcast studio somewhere other than my house was to say, I have to get up and go to work today.
Yeah.
And it becomes a thing that I have to do. Like I haven't posted a YouTube video in like a month almost, but I'm still coming here to do this podcast because I look at this as my job.
Yeah.
Like, and it's not making me any money right now, but I still want to get out of bed and go here and do it.
Yeah,
Whereas,
that's true.
Right.
But think about someone who like hates their job, just like in a cubicle. Like,
oh yeah,
of course.
now they have more opportunities.
Well,
to
yeah,
do
when like
everything.
school went online, my English teacher was saying, he's like, I'm just worried for the kids that like need the structure of like going to school to do this. And I was worried going online. I was like, I don't think I have that structure to like go to my computer and do the work, because I'm like at home, might as well not do it, right?
Yeah.
But it became a good thing for me, but I don't know about for other kids, and especially like some jobs, I think it could be good, like business jobs where it's on Zoom and shit. But for a lot of like science and like other things that need like hands-on skills, like I missed all of my organic chemistry lab.
Yeah, that's true.
Most of my bio, like I'll be fucked later when I have to learn and redo all of like the shit for lab. Like
Imagine
I
if you were
don't
in
have the
dentist
skills.
school, bro. They're showing you videos on how to drill a tooth.
That would be I don't know
You're
how
like
they
testing
do
on
that.
a dummy that they
Yeah.
ship to you.
That's the thing. Is like you're not experiencing real life situations.
You need those skills,
and
Especially for like hands-on stuff.
yes,
especially.
But it's even so. My mom was going to a book club before the pandemic, and then it ended up being like a Zoom book club where they take turns reading and like talking about the book, etc. And she's like, it's not the same, you know. It's on a screen and it lags and stuff like that. And it's also like I've done like meet and greets where I meet people and they're like, oh my, you're real, like you're a real person.
Yeah, you need
Because
that
when
connection.
You're watching someone on a screen, it doesn't feel nearly as real, and you're not experiencing, like even if you're talking to someone on Zoom, you are not there able to develop the empathic like social cue development of like seeing like a facial expression, because like the screen can freeze up or lag, or like there's just like you don't actually get a face-to-face with someone.
Well, and the same thing like in person, like you were saying, like you don't get the weird like interactions, because on Zoom you could either like turn your camera off or like just mute yourself. You can't like always be out there, you know, where you have to be in person.
Yeah, and I've done a lot of meetings on Zoom through the pandemic and whatnot, and I'm like, I do my best to sit there and pay attention to the person
yourself.
talking,
Right.
and not be like, let me look something up on my computer while you're talking to me, because it still feels like a phone call.
Yeah.
You know, but I'm like, this needs to be a respectful conversation between me and the other person. But I feel like a lot of people look at it like it's just someone on a screen, whatever.
Yeah, and I feel bad for a lot of the teachers. Like my organic chemistry teacher, there was only like 10 out of the 70 kids that had their cameras on. Like I feel so bad for like, he said, I'm just like looking
I've
at a
seen
black
those
screen.
TikToks
It's like
where people post
sad.
that.
Like, yeah.
I mean,
feel bad for them.
And most of that is like their screens are off, their mics are muted, and they're out in
not
the
there.
kitchen making a
Oh, yeah.
sandwich or something like that.
Exactly.
It's like there's no, I'm all for people having like freedom to do what they want, sort of thing. Go to the bathroom if you got to go to the bathroom, but like if you're in class, then you should be paying attention to
You
the
gotta be
class.
present.
And like the teacher can't reprimand anyone when they're sitting at home and say like, all right, you have detention. Go sit in the corner of your room.
Yeah. Well, one of my teachers actually, like the bathroom thing, like he would not, if you left the screen, he said, I'm marking you absent. Like he was like adamant. If you turn your camera off, if you unmute, like anything like that, like he was like,
I feel like
strict
they
with
should
it.
all do that.
Yeah. But at least you knew all the kids were there and they were all looking at the screen because they couldn't go anywhere. Like it was kind of messed up, but at the same time,
they
we were there.
They couldn't be like, excuse me, sir, can I please go to the bathroom? I really have to go.
Right. He would let you.
Dude, if
Yeah.
I was in that situation, I would have recorded a video on my webcam of me sitting there listening and uploaded it as the background on Zoom. And,
Yeah.
and
I wasn't smart enough to do that.
I would 100%.
All right, you just gave all these students a life hack when we're trying to say,
let me
guys,
show you
pay
exactly
attention.
how to do it.
And that was also my public speaking class. As soon as it went online, I was already scheduled to take it. And I was like, well, I'm not even in public. Like I'm at home, like with like this ring light, you know, and I'm standing in my room, you know,
Yeah.
all weird scenario. It was like not public. I'm like talking to myself, you know, it's
It's
weird.
not public speaking.
Yeah, it's really funny because YouTubers are typically mostly kind of socially introverted, and like the reason that I was able to be successful on like Vine and YouTube was because I have no problem talking to a camera versus
Right.
talking to a person being a little bit harder. And so I used to work at the bar, and we had stand-up comedy nights on Tuesday, and I worked on those nights, and I was getting like a following on Vine, and like the stand-up comedies would always kind of like heckle me, like I'm at the bar like serving drinks,
Yeah.
like leaving them the fuck alone. They always drank water. It's the stand-up comedy where it's like an open mic, and they're usually broke and they're coming in to try to be a comic.
Yeah.
So I didn't make any money when they came in, but I was very nice to them, and they were all they would go up there and be like, yeah, we got a a superstar over here with lots of followers because he's really funny. Like, why doesn't he come up here and tell some jokes and shit? And I'm
You
like,
can't do it.
I'm like, I'm fucking shy, dude. I'm making videos on my phone for people to see. Like,
Yeah, which is something you've
And
talked
I'm-
about before. Like, a lot of people just assume that you're an outgoing person because you're on the camera. But the reason you're on the camera is because you don't want to talk to anyone else. Like, you just wanted to be like,
I love meeting people and shit like that,
Right.
but I'm not gonna meet them and be like, "Hey, what's up, everybody? I'm fucking Scott, and I'm funny as shit." You know, like
Yeah.
I'm not gonna put on an act when I meet you. I'm gonna be like,
just you.
"Hey, nice to meet
Yeah.
you." You know,
Stand-up comedy would be like the scariest fucking thing
Dude,
ever.
Yeah, I could not do that. I've watched, because I go to the bar as well. I've watched it, and it's like, dude, I could not do that. Because
It's
when
like-
when people don't like laugh or like give any feedback,
Right.
dude, it's scary. Like, I'm sitting there like,
Yeah, it's like one thing to like be in like a stage play and like perform on stage in front of an audience, but when you're like solo telling jokes, relying on the audience to
Yeah,
like
you have to rely
keep
on
you
them.
going.
it's even like it's so much harder than me going up to perform a song because I know that the people that are there
Right.
like the songs because
Right.
they came to a show that they've already heard the songs before.
Yeah.
Whereas the stand-up comic for the first time is going up to perform his new act or his new routine of jokes and is seeing what lands. And it's really tough. And like from
Yeah.
watching them, like I'm like sometimes they feel a little bad because they're saying it and they're like, oh, okay, well that wasn't a good one, and they start to freak out.
Yeah,
you know? And
like you at your wedding speech.
oh yeah.
you gotta have some balls to like do that type of stuff, especially like being like an unknown person coming to like an unknown place, just doing that. It's a very scary thing. Like, I could not do that.
We should get a stand-up to come on the podcast. See how
Jeez.
different he is.
I would love to see it. Yeah, we could.
I think that'd be cool.
Yeah.
get someone to come on and roast us,
Yeah, that'd be funny.
write some jokes about us.
All right, I'll look into it.
Yeah, we've been slacking on activities because we wanted to kind of see how the podcast flowed with just conversation,
Just getting
Yeah.
used to it.
just getting used to the conversation. But we want to throw back in the man on the street bit where we go out and we interview other people outside of this podcast, but then also like little activities where we bring someone on, not to be like a full-on guest episode, because we really want to build this as like we're the podcasters here. We don't need a guest every episode for it to
Right.
be a good podcast.
Yeah, sometimes it's a nice little cherry on top.
Exactly.
But you always got that ice cream.
And I don't even really love the cherry on top, so it's not even
Some
that
people
big of a
don't even
deal.
like the cherry on top.
But yeah, I mean, I don't even know if this is interesting for the podcast, but we were talking about how it's like, you know, this is not a Vlog Squad podcast. It's like me, my little brother, and my other little brother, and we're just like doing our own thing, talking about the shit that interests us.
Yeah.
And, you know, if I wanted to bring Zane and Heath on, I could do that, and it might get some views, like extra because they're on it, but like they already have a long form
Right.
podcast, you know? And if
Right.
I bring Todd on, like people have seen me and Todd on YouTube for 10 years, and you know, I've been on his podcast. We all of this stuff has happened before. So
Yeah.
if we want to bring on a guest that's beneficial, it's going to be Alex from New York that lives in the small apartment who blew up on TikTok. So Alex, if you're out there and you want to come in on the podcast,
That'd be really cool.
that would get us lots of views.
Love
so
that
please.
guy. Have you seen him?
Yeah, I have. It was
Oh, I
really
fucking
funny.
love him.
Yeah.
He just got denied from Juilliard. It was kind of a bummer.
Aw.
Aw,
You
no.
guys didn't see that?
I didn't see that. No.
His Zoom call audition was like a couple days ago and he didn't get
Aw.
it. Yeah.
And probably because it was a Zoom call audition. They couldn't
it could
sense
be.
his emotion and his feeling through the
Yeah.
screen.
But then Charlie Puth duetted him and gave him some wise
Ooh.
words.
I think I actually saw the Charlie Puth thing, but I didn't know it was about him.
Yeah. Yeah, it was because Charlie Puth didn't get into Juilliard as well. Another,
Oh.
hey, research
Sometimes-
that success story.
Sometimes failures lead to an increased amount of creativity
Definitely.
and guide you towards the success that you were meant to have.
I'm pretty sure that's exactly what Charlie Puth said. Were you just quoting him?
I was trying to quote him. I don't think it's exactly what he said, but it was something
Yeah.
like that.
Okay.
I was like,
I was like, that
I was
did
like,
ver-
Scott's
that's
kind of
like
wise.
yeah. That's not like it.
No, I'm not. That's Charlie Puth that's wise.
Yeah.
And he's got a cool little eyebrow slit up here.
Yeah.
I have to cut
But some
mine
kids
with
shave
the
in.
razor.
Oh, and Scott shaves in to try and look like
I
him.
did it once because I did a TikTok e-boy transformation, and then I
Right.
was like,
kind
of
of
like
fire.
speaking of eyebrows, I dye mine.
You
Yeah.
dyed him?
I know. I came in today and I was like, Scott looks a little different. I think because like since I edit the podcast, I stare at you guys so much for like hours. Not in
How
a
does it make you
creepy
feel?
way. But I couldn't exactly pinpoint. But I was like, Scott's face looks different. And he's like, well, I'm like, my eyebrows are lighter.
Yeah. They
Do you
fade.
always dye them?
Yeah. Ever since I started, I was like, you know what? I really like having eyebrows so I can make like facial features that actually. And I look back at old photos of myself and I'm like, I wasn't like a bad looking guy without eyebrows, but I really like having them.
Yeah.
You know, like-
I also have very light eyebrows.
Let's
They
dye
match your hair though more, and you can still see them. Mine,
Yeah,
go-
yours were
Yay.
very like blonde.
they're
Oh,
like
really?
like they look so blonde that you can hardly see them. Or like, you know how people will bleach their eyebrows and it's like
Yeah.
that looks unnatural on them.
That's how it kind of looked.
My
for you.
eyebrows looked like they were bleached,
Oh.
even though they were just like,
Oh shit.
So yeah, see, this was before.
look at that. There's nothing there, bro.
That's not photoshopped.
That's not
No, those were his
Photoshop.
eyebrows before.
What the fuck?
But you know what's funny? It's
See?
like
That's after he added them.
that's after adding some eyebrow.
Now I understand why you dye them.
Yeah, but you know what's weird is like when I had no eyebrows and I was like, this is fine, whatever the fuck. I never noticed that I looked so funny, like I had no
Yeah.
eyebrows until I started dyeing them. Then I look back at old photos and I'm like, ooh, I looked weird. But there's people with very light
That's a
eyebrows.
different person. That's not even you, bro. There's no way that's you.
Nobody ever had a problem with my eyebrows until
Yeah.
until you look back at old photos of me with no eyebrows.
I would have never noticed unless you said so.
Who's that little fucking dork?
Kevy, why? Try not to laugh or grin challenge. Funniest Scotty sire vines. We got to do that when we do the high episode eventually. But since I've been trying to get my anxiety under control, we haven't done the high episode yet.
Probably a good idea.
Yeah. Anybody else want to talk? I feel like I've been fucking talking way too much.
I went skiing yesterday.
You
There
went
we go.
skiing.
Been looking for someone to bring something up. So you snorted a couple lines, both noses, nostrils.
Not that type of skiing.
You know that's what it's called, right?
Is that
Is
really?
Like snorting coke's called skiing?
You want to go skiing?
Oh, what
Huh.
the fuck?
Weird.
Did not know that.
You guys didn't know that?
No.
I don't even ski. And I know that.
You snowboard, right?
Oh yeah, I snowboard.
We got to get a trip.
That's
in,
only
Scott.
one. No, I'm just kidding. No,
You gotta get a
I
trip
snowboard. You ski. How was it?
It was really good. I mean, it hasn't snowed in a while, and it's also like a mountain kind of close to where I am. So
Yeah,
it's
where
like,
do you go?
It's called Big Bear. It's
Oh yeah, I
like
know
a
Big
couple
Bear.
hours away from me or so, but it's still in like California, so it's not like the best mountains.
Is it
but
kind of like sloshy right now?
right, yeah,
Yeah.
icy, sloshy, but I still had a lot of fun because we go with like a big group of like 6-7 people, like all of our
Mhm.
friends that we all go. So
You pound shots, rail lines. So it doesn't matter if you really go skiing.
I mean, we're all just having fun, you know.
Having fun.
But I was like hitting a lot of jumps yesterday. I was doing really good with Lucas, my best friend. We were just nailing the jumps, just blazing through them.
I thought we were your
Lucas.
best friend, me and
Well,
Scott.
We're brothers, so like
So
different. It's like a
Wait, isn't Lucas kind of like? Oh, he's not your brother, but you're talking about my other half brother, right?
mm-hmm.
But he's still kind of your brother because you grew up together.
Yeah, but like
Oh.
if I ever said that, he'd be like upset. He used to be like so adamant. Like
wait,
anyone would,
he's your
like-
brother?
No,
He's-
but like
he's
people
my-
would always
he-
say that. They'd be like, "Well, like technically, like you guys are like so close. Like you guys are brothers." And he goes, "No, like we're not brothers."
Technically, we're definitely not. We're kind of like brothers. But
Yeah.
Were
we're
any of his
technically
parents
not.
with any of your parents?
We're not.
So
we're
here's-
not related. but,
People
like,
people want the family tree. I'm not going to do it in this video because I'm going to need to pull up like pictures and shit.
Yeah.
So me, I come from my dad, my mom. He comes from my mom, my stepdad. Lucas comes from my dad, my stepmom. So there's no blood relation between him and Lucas, but there's blood relation between me and Kevin and me and Lucas.
Got it.
he's
So you're
like
the
midway.
middleman. Yeah.
I'm the beginning of the family tree. Fuck you, great grandpa. Just kidding. But you said something. You said, it's this place called Big Bear. And I was like, who doesn't know what Big Bear
Yeah,
is?
he
And-
said that like we're like it's some like small like
Well,
indie
no, but-
band that no one's ever heard of.
But then I was like, but wait a second. There's people all over the world
don't know what it
and
is.
all over
That
different
is
states
true.
that might have never been to California, never heard of Big Bear. But for some reason, living here, Big Bear is like, everybody knows what the
Yeah,
fuck
everyone
Big
fucking
Bear
knows
is.
what Big Bear is
Yeah.
here.
We gotta fucking open our eyes and see the world a bigger
We're so
perspective.
tunnel vision, bro. We're like this. We
What?
got to be like this.
We gotta get out of our little bubble.
That looks so funny.
We're just in a bubble, man. She came down in a fucking bubble, dude. What is that quote?
I have no fucking idea.
What do you mean she's not a princess? She came down in a fucking bubble. I
That
don't
didn't
know.
help me understand it anymore.
I always feel lost when you do quotes and shit because I don't
Yeah,
watch
what the
like
fuck is that
movies.
from?
Not
like,
from a movie. It's from like a viral Twitter video.
Okay, well, I just always feel
What?
lost then.
Oh, is it the guy? Oh, I know what you're talking about. I get it. It's the guy arguing about why
Just listen.
the witch in Wizard of Oz is a princess.
Hold on. This is hold on. Her sister was a witch, right? And what was her sister? A princess. The witch of the East, bro. I'm gonna stab him. You're gonna look at me and you're gonna tell me that I'm wrong? Am I wrong? She wore a crown and she came down in a bubble, dog. I'm not fighting with you. Grow up, bro.
Yeah. The way his like head fucking bobbles.
His argument is the witch of the East is a princess, but she's a witch. So it's a weird argument.
It sounds like he's got a shit down though.
Yeah, I mean, she seems like she came down in a fucking bubble. She must be a princess.
She wore a crown and she came down in a fucking bubble, Doug. Grow up. Grow up.
Oh, it's Doug? I thought he was saying dog.
I thought
Come
so
on,
too.
dog.
But when I started typing it in, it was D-O-U-G. Oops. All this time I thought it was dog.
Me too.
I got confused between dog and dude before I looked it up, but it was Doug.
Damn, now it's ruined forever because it's Doug.
I just saw this yesterday that it's not mirror, mirror on the wall. That's the Mandela effect at work. It's magic mirror on the wall.
No way.
Yep.
Yeah, I heard that as well.
That's a crazy one.
I was just looking at the cast for the new Snow White movie.
But I think in Shrek he says mirror, mirror.
Yeah, but
Really?
Snow White is where that phrase originated. Oh my God. And it's not mirror, mirror, guys. It's magic mirror on the wall.
It's also not Luke, I am your father. It's no, I am your father.
Damn.
What?
Yeah.
Luke. I've always quoted it with Luke.
No, I am your father.
That's like crazy. Like sometimes you hear about those like Mandela effect ones, but like those are two like really like
the
strong.
Berenstain Bears one.
Oh yeah.
What is it? What is the true Berenstain?
Berenstain.
It's Berenstain.
Yeah.
Stain.
It has to be like a spelling thing for me, because if my parents pronounced it Berensteins when they were reading it to me, like, okay,
Right.
that's just a mispronunciation.
Yeah.
Well, my dad pronounces everything like all messed up.
I thought the Berenstein thing was like it was either the Berensteins or Berensteins.
No, it's the EIN
I also
or
thought that as
AIN.
well.
Oh, is it a spelling?
Yeah. So what?
So it's
people
A.
thought it was EIN, but it's AIN.
Oh, yeah, I did think it was E.
Yeah,
So it
it's
was a
A.
spelling thing. Oops.
Also, Sex and the City, Sex in the City. People thought it was that.
Which one is it?
I don't
In
know.
the city.
I think it's and the City.
Are you serious?
Yeah.
I've just been watching Sex in the City, the new one. Now I'm curious which. What?
Yeah, it's Sex and the City. But people thought it was Sex in the City.
Damn.
Well,
My
sometimes
mind's blown.
sometimes they leave the city. To
Do you know
have
where
sex.
it came from with Mandela? Why it's the Mandela effect? Because like a huge collection of people thought Nelson Mandela died in like the 70s in prison or something, and he died in like 2011. And people were like, "What the fuck? This guy's been dead for
I thought
30
he like
years."
invented the effect.
No.
Well, guys, should we just wrap this one up?
I think
Yeah.
so.
That's what I do every time before sex. Stay safe out there, folks. This is the NGMI podcast. I'm just kidding. I don't wrap it up. Happy NGMI podcast, episode 7,
8,
9.
10, 7, 8, 9. He was hungry.
Oh.
Why was 6 afraid of 7? Because 7, 8, 9. We nailed that ending with a sick joke. Everyone, if you've watched this far, if you've listened this far, please give us a like, leave a comment. And if you are in the beginning of this video and you're not at this part yet, I hope you've liked the video just when you started it,
Yeah.
or left a review.
Yeah.
And we love comments. We like to respond to all of them. We take turns. Jack does most of the comments.
I read them all.
Kevin
and,
reads them all.
And I comment back to 1 or 2.
Yeah.
You never know who you're going to get.
True. I also want to
Except it's
point
not
out.
going to be Kevin.
It's not me.
I also want to point out. I've noticed this a lot in editing. You go before you talk a lot. Yeah.
Yeah, I also read a comment that I sit in between both cushions.
Yeah.
And I want to make that apparent. I do that because the camera.
No, he does it because he's a psycho.
I was like, because sometimes we put our legs out
Yeah.
and we play
They don't want to play footsies.
footsies.
Too
All right.
complicated.
See you later, motherfuckers. Thanks for watching. Thanks for listening. Hopefully you guys enjoyed the NGMI podcast because we enjoy you.
Yeah.
Bye.